A little over a month later, Menakato won the freeway at the Valley.
Menakato, 3 lengths Mr. Magic, followed a length away Scamander, Caraman, Hard-Ridden, Banco Regis, Private Talk, Caduceus, then Old Time Jazz. Now at the 400, and Menakato coasted up to Owen J. Star coming to the turn, put its head in front there, 6 lengths to Mr. Magic, Scamander, followed by Private Talk, but Menakato has drawn away, and as they're about to turn for home, he's gone 2 lengths to Owen J. Star, 6 lengths away Mr. Magic, Private Talk, Banco Regis, but Menakato clear. He's keeping him going. Owen J. Star's battling on second. Menakato getting weary again on the line, but he'll win. Scores by 3 parts of a length to Owen J. Star. He's a good colt too, 8 lengths away third, Private Talk. There followed further back Fear No Wind made up.
In the Marlborough Cup. He went to the paddock, a 4-year-old, a legend, the great chestnut with the pounding legs.
Proven right and we were proven wrong, and he turned out a really great horse.
Haynes didn't know he was going to be proved so resoundingly right when Neville Pepper started to break in the colt. It wasn't easy.
He was a problem, all right. He was probably one of the worst horses you ever want to break in. He had his own way. You couldn't do much with him at all.
Haynes named the horse after the property, as he'd previously done with stud bulls. And Tommy Smith got his best horse since Tulloch like this.
We'd only be a fair horse. I never dreamt of him being a champion.
Well, as I said earlier, Kingston Town was a disaster at his first start, a fair horse in winning his next 2 after a 10-week spell. At his third start, he won again over 1,200 metres in a Warwick Farm handicap. But watch this win, his 5th start, the Group 2 Peter Pan Stakes at Rose Hill. Here is the foretaste of the coming glory.
Well, he surprised me, all I could say. I never dreamt him. He improved that fast, and I couldn't catch up with him.
In the autumn of 1979, Dulcify began his spring successes of that year in the Wait for Age Craigley Stakes at Flemington.
Argius Nicolaus drew away by 2 lengths to Luck Runa. Now Arbrashane getting out to go out after it. Marjolio looking for a run on the fence from Valley of Georgia. Superscope hanging. Mr. Sobar trying to get out. Then Dulcify being eased to the outside, and Double Century 4th last with a wall of horses in front of him. Argios Nicolaus led into the straight without after it. Dulcify with a big run out wide. So too is Arbrashane, and Valley of Georgia and Majolio can't get out, and now Double Century getting out with Mr. Sobar. Dulcify took the lead at the 200 in second placing. Arbrashane under the whip. Worry Symbol trying to get up on the rails, and Valley of Georgia battling on with Double Century, can't win. Dulcify just the leader near the line from Arbrashane, and Dulcify's won it. Won by about a length. Second placing Arbrashane, Valley of Georgia third.
After a third in the Underwood to Valley of Georgia, it was back to Flemington where he was unbeaten.
Round the turn, How Fast hanging, and Valley of Georgia got the run to go up and hit the front. And Valley of Georgia took the lead from How Fast and Sarfraz. Caraman behind them with How Burke, and there 4 or 5 lengths to Gondolier. Dulcify keeps running into dead ends, and then Brioche Castle. Valley of Georgia tackled again by How Fast at the 200 from How Burke and Caraman. Dulcify getting out is coming home hard down the outside. Valley of Georgia and Caraman with Dulcify now coming at them strongly, and he swamped them in a stride. Caraman was in front, but Dulcify got checked and then went straight past it, and he can't get beaten at Flemington, Dulcify. He's won by about 2 lengths to Caraman.
That race set him up for his legendary...
Shogun and Outcome couldn't keep up with him in the gloaming. And Mighty Kingdom, who went on to win the Caulfield Cup, couldn't get near him in the Spring Champion Stakes.
I think when we saw Kingston Town come round the corner and walk away from the field on Championship Stakes Day, we suddenly thought, well, this horse has got something quite special.
I remember Mighty Kingdom come at me with a furlong to go, and I just kicked the black horse in the ribs, and he just won by 4 lengths.
Think about what he'd done. It was only his second preparation. He'd gone from a $5,000 2-year-old handicap win to the Champion Stakes in 3 months. He'd won a triple crown of sorts. He was, as they say in the game, hot. So, of course, he had to come to Melbourne for the spring. The King came south in a blaze of headlines. He came in hot. 3 races later, he went out, well, lukewarm. More at...
The inside was Lady Slipper, who headed them off in the early part with Classy Bell. Vermeer showing speed, so is Gay Galaxy. Caledonian Bell on the outside going forward in a hurry, and then Pride. Lowen Star settled down centre field. Victoria Peak on the outside driving forward too. Franconia got out to second last, and Coronis is last. at the 1300 metre. Well back in the field then is Franconia. Century misses second last. Delma J back with the trailers, and Coronis is last of all. At the 700 metre mark and snowing, swept around the field. The lead by 2 lengths, Victoria Peak. Third on the inside was Pride, and then Stage Hit, followed by Jazima Caledonian Bell. About 2 lengths back behind them, Pamir on the outside from Super Spree going forward. Then Lady Slipper badly needing a run. Going forward on the outside was Franconia as they come down near the turn, and back behind them Classy Bell and Brava Genie. On the bend, 400 to go. Johnston had a look over the shoulder on Snowing, led by a couple of lengths into the straight. Victoria Peak second, followed by Jazima. Stage Hit under the whip, running on only fairly well, with 250 left to go, and the Guinea Snowing drifting out, still led. Victoria Peak and Stage Hit down the outside, followed by Lady Slipper getting a rails run, and diving through with Lady Slipper as Brava Genie. Brava Genie dived through to grab the lead, coming down near the line, and Brava Genie got up the score from Lady Slipper. Delma J flashed up probably to get third from Gay Galaxy. Inside to be one of the first out with Runaway Kid and also Bold Diplomat. Kingston Town driving around them on the outside was next, followed by Tolhurst and then Kiwi Triumph. Out wider is Ty Ruler going forward from Laureate, and then a length farther back Minos, 2 lengths Lloyd's Consul. Swift Valley getting well out of it with Stylish Lad, Western Bay over on the outside, and Galway Man is last of all. Down the side at the 800 metre mark, and it's Bold Diplomat in front by a half length Ty Ruler. Third on the inside is Gay King, hooked to the outside and going up 3 deep. They're followed by Kingston Town, joined by Runaway Kid, Tolhurst the outside. Kiwi Triumph poking up on the inside was next, followed by Tolhurst as they come down near the bend now. And Bold Diplomat near the inside, the leader from Ty Ruler, Gay King in third place. Kingston Town hooked out about 3 wide. Runaway Kid went through and he's inside, and they're followed then by Swift Valley. At the head of the others, Kiwi Triumph. On the turn and straightening, Bold Diplomat in front by a length, Ty Ruler. Gay King in third place, followed by Runaway Kid. Kingston Town under pressure down the outside at the 200 metre mark, where Bold Diplomat was 2 lengths clear. Runaway Kid, the danger on the outside. He's after him now, but ducked in behind him. Bold Diplomat still in front. Runaway Kid trying to get through. He's badly checked, Runaway Kid. Bold Diplomat's going to score. Runaway Kid stopped in his tracks, and Bold Diplomat wins by a length and a half. Runaway Kid. Kingston Town disappointing third. Racing. Scomel jumped out nicely down near the inside with Gypsy Kingdom. Chivalry well away, Double Century on the outside, trapped a bit deep but going forward. Mighty Kingdom sprinting right across the field, and Mighty Kingdom took over, settling down. Scomel second, followed by Gypsy Kingdom. Double Century trapped out 3 wide in the early part, but there's plenty of pace on now. Worry Symbol was next. Chivalry on the fence from Ming Dynasty. Double Century still out deep from Arbor Shane. They're followed a length and a half away then by Hyperno and Earthquake Magoon together. Back on the inside, Happy Union, Rumour Key, 2 lengths, then 2 wide. Tangaroo Panamint is last. The 400 metre mark, and Mighty Kingdom in front by over a length. Arbor Shane. Hyperno in third place, and they're followed then by Scomel. Mighty Kingdom's the one they've got to get at the 300 metre mark, still led by a length. Arbor Shane sticking to its guns on the outside, but Mighty Kingdom kicked away with 150 left to go. Is out 2.5 lengths clear of Arbor Shane in second place. Chivalry starting to flash down the outside when the race was all over, but Mighty Kingdom is going to score easily. Mighty Kingdom wins by 3 lengths. Chivalry a big run second. Arbor Shane third. Happy Union not a bad run, and then Hyperno. Scomel every chance.
And they're off and running in the Caulfield Cup, and down on the inside, Sunstone jumped away well with Worry Symbol. Away quickly also, Valley of Georgia going fast in the centre, Arbor Sheen with Bit of a Skider, and Mighty Kingdom is travelling up quickly on the outside, followed by Ming Dynasty. Dropping in behind them came Double Century, there followed by Salamander, Pagal out deep on the tracker, and back behind them came Earthquake Magoon, followed further back by Red Nose, and last of all Happy Union. Going out of the straighter, it's Mighty Kingdom in charge, about a length and a half. Worry Symbol on the inside of Valley of Georgia. As they race up towards the top of the hill, and the leader over on the inside now is Bit of a Skider, about a half length to Mighty Kingdom, and Father's Day is going up quickly. They're followed closely over on the inside, parked just away there, Worry Symbol. Then Kingston Town, 3 deep as Ming Dynasty as they race over the hill. Sunstone on the inside of Valley of Georgia, and they're followed by Arbor Sheen. Father's Day moved very quickly to take over as they come along towards the railway side of the track, and Father's Day in charge, a length a Bit of a Skider. Close up on the outside is Mighty Kingdom. They're followed by Kingston Town. Back behind them, Worry Symbol. Further back is Sunstone, followed by Can Camera. A good way back in the field, still is the favourite, Double Century, as they race onto the railway side, and Father's Day tackled again by Mighty Kingdom. Ming Dynasty has gone up in a hurry on the outside, a Bit of a Skider. They're followed by Our Big Gamble. Worry Symbol on the inside of Sunstone is now off the fence. A length further back is Arbrashina. They're followed next by Cairn Cameron, further back to Salamander, and then came Pagal and well back to Earthquake Magoon. Coming up towards the home turner, Father's Day tackled by Mighty Kingdom. Coming up with about 500 to go, and on the outside, Ming Dynasty is there also. They're followed by Kingston Town, and further back, Arbrashine, bit of a skider. Happy Union around the outside, followed by Sunstone and Worry Sybil looking for a runner as they round the home turn with about 350 to go. And Mighty Kingdom had kicked away about 2 lengths to Father's Day. Kingston Town running on well there, followed by Earthquake Magoon, who's getting up on the fence. Deep on the track, Worry Sybil is finishing well, and they're followed by Sunstone, Salamander, and further back, Arbrashina. But Mighty Kingdom was well clear, close to home. Worry Sybil and Sunstone both running on well, but it's Mighty Kingdom for the Caulfield Cup. He goes on to score well. Mighty Kingdom first, Worry Sybil second, Sunstone third, followed by Earthquake Magoon, Kingston Town, and one of the last to finish in the event is Valley of Georgia. A great win to the Sydney 3-year-old Mighty Kingdom in the 1979 Caulfield Cup. Brilliantly ridden by Malcolm Johnston, number 18, Mighty Kingdom. Ridden by Malcolm Johnston is first. Wins the Caulfield Cup from Worry Sybil, ridden by Pat Highland, with Sunstone ridden by Ron Quinton in third place. Mighty Kingdom coming back to scale, ahead of Worry Sybil and Sunstone.
Racing in the plate, Ming Dynasty jumped out quickly in the centre with Chivalry well away too. Top Ware's looking for the early lead. Arbrashane coming across, settling fully into stride now, and out deep on the track, Arbrashane getting across with Ming Dynasty. Imposing, booting up near the inside to retain the inside running to the judge. Imposing in front of Caraman, Arbrashane 3 wide. Back on the inside, Gypsy Kingdom, and they're followed then by Ming Dynasty and then Chivalry. Dulcify on the outside of Lawman. Trapped out very deep out of the straight is Top Wear, and then Quiet Snort, Runaway Kid, and last of all is Salamander. Compact field, no pace on, but Top Wear, the 3-year-old, sprinted past them now and grabbed the lead. Running down the side now, and Top Wear's in front, 2 lengths Imposing, 1 off the fence. Back on the inside, then Gypsy Kingdom. Arbrashane pulling out 3 wide from Caraman, and then Chivalry, the rails. Next, Dulcify in the centre, out deep is Ming Dynasty, Lawman, they're only crawling into the back, and then Quiet Snort, Runaway Kid 3 deep, and Salamander's last 10 lengths from the lead. At the 1200 metre mark, Top Wear in front, 3 parts of a length Imposing, a similar gap away third on the inside, Gypsy Kingdom. Arbrashane still 3 wide, Caraman in the centre, and then Chivalry, the rails. Ming Dynasty next on the outside from Dulcify on the rails. 2 lengths behind them, they're starting to sprint now. Then Runaway Kid and Lawman, Quiet Snort, and last of all is Salamander. Coming down towards the 800 metre mark now, Top Wear in front by a neck to Imposing, Gypsy Kingdom, Arbrashane on the outside. Caraman next, Chivalry getting through near the inside, and Dulcify let go out 3 deep and sprinted past Chivalry, got a couple of lengths on him. They're followed then by Ming Dynasty, Quiet Snort, Runaway Kid, Lawman, and last of all is Salamander. At the 600 metre mark, and Dulcify let go, sprinted up quickly to join Imposing and grab the lead. The champ Dulcify grabbed the lead coming to the bend with 500 to go from Imposing. Arbrashane in third place, Chivalry let go, running on fairly, followed by Top Wear, but on the bend, and Dulcify has given them the slip, got away by 3 lengths. Chivalry into second place as they wheel around the bend of the 200 metre mark, and Thompson going for home. Dulcify's 4 lengths clear in the Cox Plate, and he's going to bolt in. He's shot away by 5 or 6 lengths, Chivalry. Here's the Melbourne Cup favourite. Have a look at Dulcify. It's 4 Cox Plates too. Brent Thompson. Dulcify brilliantly wins the Cox Plate by 6 lengths. Second, Chivalry, 6 lengths away. Third, could be Lawman from Arbrashane and Salamander. Then Caraman, next home, Top Wear, Runaway Kid, Gypsy Kingdom, Ming Dynasty, Quiet Snort, and Imposing ran last.
In fact, it was not till his win in the WS Cox Plate at Moonee Valley that the public fully appreciated the great champion they were shortly to lose.
One of the reasons I went forward when I did was Chivalry was in a pocket there where there seemed there was no way out, and I was going particularly well, so I let him throw. My only concern was that if he didn't win, I was in pretty deep trouble.
Oh, Dulcify let go, has raced to the lead. Chivalry's getting off the fence, but Dulcify's going to have a big lead on it. At the 400, Dulcify shot away 2.5 lengths Imposing. Then Chivalry under the whip from Arbrashane and Gypsy Kingdom. But Dulcify well clear. Brent Thompson going for his 4th Cox Plate, and he's got it. He's home, Dulcify. He's 6 lengths in front of Chivalry, and then Arbrashane Imposing stopping. Dulcify's won by a minute, and that's the way he might win the Melbourne Cup. Dulcify by 6 lengths to Chivalry.
I remember Jack Purtell saying to me afterwards, that's the best win I've ever seen in the Cox Plate. And he was a very experienced, rational race watcher. And I think it was easily the best win I've seen in the race. Because they were all high-class horses, and he showed that brilliant, electrifying finish that he had, and showed that he was right on top of it all.
Racing Hollow, Hyperno stood there and he lost about 5 or 6 lengths at the start, Hyperno. Jumping out very quickly was Hal Burke with Chivalry. Worry Symbol on the outside going forward, and Minuetto assuming control, and Dulcify's moving around the outside. On the turn, 500 metres left to go, Minuetto in front. Dulcify the immediate threat on the outside, moving up quickly, and then Halberg. Pagal back behind them, and Chivalry is following Dulcify. Wide of that is Worry Symbol, followed by a bit of a skite. 350 metres left to go, Dulcify and Chivalry. They both charge up to Minuetto, who's finding plenty. Dulcify's under the whip, but he's starting to respond now. Chivalry out 3 wide, has grabbed the lead from Minuetto, and Dulcify coming again in the centre. Dulcify now pulling out all stops, grabbed the lead again. Chivalry on the outside trying to pick up Dulcify. Dulcify in front by a neck. He's drawn clear. Chivalry fighting back, but Dulcify won by a long head. Chivalry. Great McKinnon Stakes, Minuetto third. McKinnon Stakes, Minuetto third. Hyperno got up to run fourth.
It was hoped that Dulcify would be able to win without being put under great pressure. It didn't quite work out that way.
Into the straight, 450 to go. Minuetto in front, but immediately Dulcify's gone up to second placing. Chivalry's making its run on the outside. It's Minuetto in front. Dulcify and Chivalry come at it together. We'll soon know who's good. Chivalry's run past Dulcify, got a neck in front of it. Thompson went for the whip. Chivalry a neck in front of Dulcify, and then Minuetto battling on. Dulcify coming again, has drawn level with Chivalry. It's Dulcify and Chivalry together. Dulcify ahead in front. Now a half neck. Dulcify just in front, and Dulcify's won it. A half neck to Chivalry. A length and a half to Minuetto.
After 21 starts, 10 wins, 3 seconds and 2/3, for a total of $568,775. Dulcify came to the Melbourne Cup of 1970.
Got up to run fourth.
And away to a great start in the Melbourne Cup, and Salamander on the inside was the first to jump out with Rough and Tougher. Red Nose jumped out well, and so did Sarfraz, and going up quickly as Dulcify. They were followed by Ico, and back behind them in the field is Worry Symbol and Safe Harbour, and then Cancama. As they race down the straight the first time, and on the inside, Sarfraz has gone to the front from Ico. Salamander over on the inside is third, followed by Love Bandit. They were followed further back by Red Nose on the inside of Hallberg, then Dulcify. Deeper on the track came Worry Symbol, followed by Safe Harbour. In behind the Magistrate, then came Hyperno. Next over on the inside, Cubicada. They're followed by License Fee, and further away, Somerset Nile, followed by Earthquake Magoona. Next is Pagal, and then came Karu on the rails. A length and a half further back is Cancama. Rough and Tough is in behind them, followed by Over the Ocean, and tailing out to the rear of the field is Giuseppe, approaching the judges' box with just over a circuit left to go, and Sarfraz leads the way. About a length to Safe Harbour, 2 lengths to Salamander on the inside of Love Bandit. A length to Red Nose over on the inside of Hallberg, and 3 deep then. At the head of the others came Ico. They're followed by Dulcify on the inside of Worry Symbol. Magistrate is next. About a length to Safe Harbour, 2.5 lengths further back Salamander, who's over on the inside of Love Bandit. A length and a half to Hallberg on the outside of Red Nose. Then came Magistrate on the rails. Next Dulcify, a length further back Cubicate on the inside of Hyperno. And Worry Symbol is next over on the outside, 2 lengths further back then. At the head of the rest of them came License Fee. They're followed by Somerset Nile. A good long gap further back in the field, Karu on the inside. And he was followed then by Gunderman, who's got a long way out of his ground. Coming up past the 1,400-metre mark, and Sarfraz by a length to Safe Harbour. In behind them, 2 lengths away, Salamander, followed by Love Bandit, 2 lengths to Hallberg. Red Nose is next on the rails, about 3 lengths further back as Magistrate. Dulcify going forward. So is Hyperno on the outside, and back behind them came Ico. As they race up towards Chiquita Lodge, it's still Sarfraz making play. He's about a length and a half to Safe Harbour. Then Love Bandit, they're followed by Hallberg coming into the picture, so is Salamander. In behind them at the head of the others, then making ground is Hyperno, and Dulcify is further back in the field, followed by Red Nose as they come around the home turn. At the 800-metre mark, Sarfraz about a length to Safe Harbour. On the outside was Hallberg, there followed by Love Bandit, then Red Nose, and further back to Hyperno and Dulcify. I think something's gone amiss with Dulcify. Dulcify is dropping out of the race. I think he's broken down as they straighten up, where it's Sarfraz being tackled by Hallberg, and over on the outside, Red Nose is putting in a claim there, followed by Salamander looking for a runner. Hyperno is finishing well down the outside, then Cubicate and Worry Symbol halfway down the running, and Red Nose raced up to tackle Hallberg. Salamander getting through on the inside, and 4 deep finishing well. Hyperno, here's a great go. Salamander takes the lead in the Melbourne Cup. Hyperno the big danger on the inside. Salamander, Hyperno coming at it. Salamander, Hyperno, Salamander, Hyperno, Salamander. They hit the line, and Hyperno has won it by a nose to Salamander. Third home is Red Nose, followed by Hallberg, Cubicade, Worry Symbol, well back to Gunderman, and last of all, Safe Harbour. Hyperno.
It was quite a good field, and
not being 100% sure how High Perno was going to race, because he had a reputation of being a rogue sort of horse. But he went out there and was on his best behaviour and won the race. And I've got to admit, he was probably one of the most gamest horses that I ever did ride, High Perno. Salamander and him fought it out tooth and nail for the last furlong and a half, head and head. And if anything, High Perno was a little bit underdone for that 2-mile race.
Salamander, and on the outside is High Perno. Here's Cubicade with a powerful run from Worry Symbol. It's Red Nose and Salamander together at the 200. On the outside, High Perno and Salamander going stride for stride from Red Nose. Salamander ahead in front. High Perno's grabbing him. They go to the post together. High Perno, if anything's won at a nose to Salamander.
$5. Dulcify came to the Melbourne Cup of 1979.
I don't know really what happened. I said at the time that I felt that when the pace slackened about the 1600 metres that he was galloped on behind, and there was High Perno behind him, because he did end up with a lot of marks over his back legs. But you know, I mean, that's history, and whether that happened, no one could be really certain. You know, but he did get galloped on from behind. But it just goes to show the sort of heart that the horse had, because it took me to the top of the straight to actually pull him up in order that I could get off him. So he went some 800 metres on 3 legs. So he must have had a giant heart to carry him that far, because 800 metres on 3 legs is a long way.
And Brent thought that he was a certainty in it, and he was travelling beautifully when the accident happened. And I suppose it's fair to say that was my saddest moment in racing, when he was killed.
And High Perno, who won the race, he beat by 15 lengths in the Cox Plate.
How confident were you going into the Melbourne Cup with Dulcify?
Well, I really felt he'd win. He was very well handicapped, and he looked a different class to them. And Brent Thompson was riding and was certain he'd win. And he was galloped on behind and stripped and broke his pelvis. And I saw him falter and start to drop out. And Thompson rode him along for a bit and realised there was something wrong, and then eased him down as they straightened up and got off him. And I went down to the top of the straight, and it was obviously the horse was terribly injured. There was not much chance for him. But we put him in a float and took him home and let our vet examine him again, other than the course vet. But he said there was nothing could be done for him.
The tragedy of Dulcify's death would never be forgotten.
That 6-year-old, a legend, the great chestnut with the pounding legs.
Jumped away well, except Tincture lost half a length at the start. Manicato quickly showing in front. Tincture driving up on the inside now to join him in the lead, and Willits will let it go to the front. 2 lengths to Sans Rival, 1.5 lengths wide Tangaroora and Sarfraz, and 2 to Halberg. Going round the 700-metre corner, and Tincture in front, Manicato cantering at his girth. 2 lengths to Sans Rival, about 5 lengths wide Tangaroora, making a little ground. 3 to Halberg, and Sarfraz dropped out last. 5.50 to go, and Willits has allowed Manicato to go to the front under a tight hold. Half a length to Tincture, 2 lengths to Sans Rival, 5 or 6 lengths wide Tangaroora. He's doing nothing. Halberg starting to run on pretty well, the stablemate of the winner, and the winner is going to be Manicato with 300 to go on the corner. He coasted away about 3 lengths in front of Sans Rival. Tincture's gone. Halberg's running a very good first up race. He might even get up and run second, but Manicato went away 4 or 5 in front in the straight. He's going to bolt in from Sans Rival. Now Halberg accelerating. He'll run second all right. And in the run to the post, Manicato won by 5 lengths to Halberg, 1 length to Sans Rival third, 1 length to Sans Rival third. Down the hill at the 800, and Manicato under a tight rein, a half length.
Again, he won the CF4.
1.5 High Perno running a big race from Star Air, Better Copy, 1 to Ming Dynasty, Father's Day. They've got out 3 lengths to White Tangaroora, Worry Symbol a long way back, looking for a run on the inside, followed by Pagal and Moon Hawk. Salamander last into the straight with the leader, Manicato, about 1 length in front here from King's Highway, and High Perno starting to drive up into second placing. Then Better Copy, Star Air, followed by Father's Day. Coming to the 200, and Manicato 1.5 lengths to 2 lengths to High Perno, who's battling on strongly. Then Better Copy in third place, followed by Ming Dynasty, and now White Tangaroora running on. But Manicato is going to be much too good, and he goes to the line to win by 2.5 lengths to High Perno, a great run. Third is Better Copy just in front of Ming Dynasty.
Again, paddock.
We hadn't seen the half of it. In the autumn of 1980, Kingston Town was electrifying. First up, he fairly scorched over the 1,200 metres of the expressway at Randwick. He was never thought of as a sprinter in the Manicato style, yet he cut it out in 1:9.7. Next, he won at Rose Hill over 1,500 metres.
800 to go as they come onto the side, and Conorack the leader by a length. In second place, Tulip Town, and 3/4 of a length to Farewell Chime. 3/4 of a length, Kingston Town, going comfortably and within about 2.5 lengths of the leader. A little over a length for Milton, who's going much better today than he was last week, and they were followed by Ulan Boy. Then Tell Pips being hard-ridden with Big Print last, still under restraint, and Red Kilt alongside of him. They're on the bend for home with about 4:50 to travel. Conorack just leading from Tulip Town, a length behind them Kingston Town. On the rails then Ulan Boy, and they were followed by Milton. At the head of the others then is Tell Fibs. Coming to the 250, Tulip Town the leader, but Kingston Town's raced to him straight away. And Kingston Town a dash clear with 200 to go from Tulip Town. Milton is running on well on the outside. Will get second, and Kingston Town's going to win pretty comfortably. Milton, however, giving a good display today. Stretches out beautifully in the run home, but has beaten 2.5 lengths with a good Derby trial.
Racing. They seem to have jumped away pretty well. It's very hard to sort out an early leader in the Oakley Plate. It might be Dawn Command out wide on the track with Court Sabre. Burning through Princess Riken along the inside has gone up quickly. They were followed by Owen J. Star and Mr. Magic running about 5th on the inside from Stage Hit, hard ridden to get up into about 6th or 7th placing. They were followed then further back in the field by King of the Stars, and behind them on the inside, Bold Commodore, well back Monreal. Owen J. Star on the inside, and Dawn Command up with the lead with Princess Riken and Akamar. Mr. Magic looking for a run on the fence, going well 4th, and they were followed by Stage Hit, Bold Commodore the inside. Skylink around the outside of them as they enter the straight now with about 400 to go. It's a battle here with on the outside Princess Riken drifting off the fence, getting the front from Owen J. Star. Mr. Magic's getting the split in between them to tackle them, followed by Akamar. Here's Turf Ruler from the clouds. Turf Ruler swamping them as dashed to the lead halfway down the straight. Going with it, Majolio. Turf Ruler hanging off the track with Majolio, but Turf Ruler wanted a nose to Majolio. Close for third. Middleton Sam's come from last, might have got third. And there's the light. Racing. They've jumped away in a beautiful even line. Manicato's in front when they've gone 50 metres from Ico Consenting. Asian Bow being sent up now to take the favourite on in front. And Tolhurst has gone up third with Jukebox Junior. Asian Bow hard-ridden, led over the hill. A length to Manicato, a half Jukebox Junior, 2 lengths to Tolhurst. 1,500. Manicato in second place, settling kindly. A length to Jukebox Junior, a half to Tolhurst, pocketed on the fence. 2 to Gondolier, followed by Better Copy, and then came Consenting Princely, a gap to Ico and Rooney. Past the 800 at Asian Bow, 2 lengths to Manicato, 1 to Jukebox Junior, a length to Tolhurst, a half Gondolier. Then Princely, Better Copy, Consenting hard-ridden, 2 to Ico and Rooney. 600 out on Asian Bow, bowling along 2 lengths to in second placing Manicato, who's going very kindly today. Then a length and a half Jukebox Junior, he's hard at it. Tolhurst on its inside, then Gondolier, Consenting and Princely. As they made the turn, 400 out, Asian Bow in front, but Higgins easing Manicato up now. He's hard at work on Asian Bow, and Manicato, he's under double. Wraps the champ. He's cantering. Next Jukebox Junior, followed by Tolhurst, but there he goes. And there's a champion, Manicato. He's raced away now from Asian Bow. Jukebox Junior running a big race, and then Tolhurst and Consenting. But Manicato's gone to the line, 4 lengths in front of Asian Bow. Jukebox Junior third in front of Consenting and Tolhurst, then Rooney. Back behind it, Gondolier. Asian Bow in front, but Higgins easing Manicato up now. He's hard at work on Asian Bow, and Manicato, he's under double. Wraps the champ. He's cantering. Next Jukebox Junior, followed by Tolhurst, but there he goes. And there's a champion, Manicato. He's raced away now from Asian Bow. Jukebox Junior running a big race, and then Tolhurst and Consenting. But Manicato's gone to the line, 4 lengths in front of Asian Bow. Racing. Sportscasters jumped well over towards the outside. Gondolier and Narenka and Manipal going very fast over on the inside. And Middleton Sam's dropped out to be a clear last, and he's already switching out to the centre of the track. Snowing went up quickly to join Narenka and Manipal in front as they settled down into stride. They were followed just behind those horses, then about a length and a half away by Sportscast over on the outside. It was followed by Marjolio, who's well up with them, and Jukebox Junior running about 6th. Then Gondolier on the inside. Bowl Commodore wider out with Mr. Magic. And then Dorcon making up some ground. Middleton Sam back at the rear with Scameld and Turf Ruler well out of it. It's snowing under the whip, headed off by Maniple and Naranka and Jukebox Junior. And here's Red Coral coasted up to them. Wider out Dorcon and now Sportscast. Red Coral went to the lead from Jukebox Junior. Sportscast and Dorcon, and here's Turf Ruler down the outside. It's Turf Ruler out after Jukebox Junior and Red Coral and also Dorcon, but it's Red Coral in front with 100 to go. Sportscast getting the run and Turf Ruler and Dorcon out wide, but Red Coral in front near the line. Dorcon's grabbing it near the post. Dorcon's doing best, and Dorcon's won it. About a head to Sportscast, ahead to Turf Ruler third, and Red Coral's missed the place a half head away.
And Zephyr Zinger's booting up on the inside into a prominent spot. Shea Biscus trapped out very deep. Duggan allowing it to drop back a little bit now. Closer to the fence came Dark Eclipse, and further back Scorpio. At the head of the others then making ground near the fences. Joy, Lord Avon and Culture well back in the field with Birdie and the Queenslander. Definitely Ours that dropped out to be last of all. Onto the course proper, 700 metres out, and Kabul on the inside, just the leader from Ara. About 2 lengths away, Zephyr Zing on the inside of John's Hero. Beyonce moving up to them, 3 and 4 deep on the corner. Then Shea Bisc, Baglarga Mess, followed by Massacre. Dark Eclipse caught behind a wall of horses turning the corner, and Nassau is also a mile back as they straighten up, and back with him Scorpio. 300 metres out, Zephyr Zing exploded through in the centre, and Zephyr Zing reached the lead from Ara. Baglarga Mess, John's Hero. Beyonce struggling. Here comes Dark Eclipse on the outside. Dark Eclipse is going after the leader. Dark Eclipse loomed up with John's Hero and Baglarga Mess. Dark Eclipse is the leader. Joy is jumping out of the ground, but Dark Eclipse won the slipper. Good on you, Kevin Moses. Dark Eclipse has won from Joy.
And with 4 trial.
Gates fly, and they're away in the Rosehill Guineas of 1980, and as they race into view, Lloyd Show. Then came an amazing 3 weeks in which he strolled away with 4 Group 1 races. The Formula 1 racer was in overdrive now. Sometimes he made 2 and 3 runs in a race. Always the same horse ran second. It was called Daylight. The Rosehill Guineas was the start of it.
With Knights Affair and Brindisi as last. Now the pace slowed suddenly again as they wheel to the back, and Roman Warrior now takes over the running. Roman Warrior led narrowly from Kingston Town, running third. Laureate on the outside of Lloyd Show. It's a very muddling run race though. They've pulled up to a canter at the 1400. Roman Warrior just in front of Kingston Town. Laureate third, arching the neck on the outside of Lloyd Show, and then Rocky Top. Farewell Chime has caught out 3 deep at the moment. Close handy behind those. Polo Player, Riverdor's out a bit deep, and then Cordelphia. Knights Affairs rider not happy with the pace, about to take off very quickly, and here's a new leader now in the Guineas. Knights Affair went to the lead. Knights Affair in front, coming to the 1000, kicked away about 2.5 to Kingston Town. Roman Warrior third on the outside, but by golly, Johnston got into trouble there. The rider of Roman Warrior went up on the outside of the other one, Knights Affair. Johnston tried to go with him, he got cut out momentarily. Farewell Chime now moves to 4th, 1.5 to Laureate, followed by Lloyd Show, then Rocky Top, Riverdor, Polo Player, Cordelphia, hard ridden, a good way back, Big Print and Brindisi, and dropping out to last is High Mystery. At the 600 metres mark, Knights Affair the leader, Roman Warrior second, flat to the boards, Kingston Town third, then Farewell Chime, Rocky Top about to take off on the outside. Further back then, coming into it, Polo Player, but he's carted deep on the turn. At the head of the others, Lloyd Show and Laureate behind them, and then Big Print in the straight, 250 to go, and he's let loose on Kingston Town, and the champ has gone to Knights Affair in a stride. Look at that acceleration. Kingston Town race clear below the 200, and the Guineas looks to be all over. Knights Affair in second place, running on. Polo Player finishing doggedly, but Kingston Town wins in a breeze. He's a champion. Kingston Town by 4 lengths. Polo Player.
Knights Affair, 1.5 lengths clear on Roman Warrior. Kingston Town, a further 1.5 lengths third. And then comes on the outside as they swing the home corner here, Rocky Top and Farewell Chime, and Rocky Top having a bit of a bumping duel from Laureate and Lloyd Show. In the stretch at the Ledger, here's Johnston popping the question to Kingston Town, and he exploded to the lead. Away he goes, and Kingston Town, as Jono looks over the right shoulder, is about 3 in front of Knights Affair, Polo Player. But Kingston Town is a mile too good. It's a workout for him. Kingston Town holds Polo Player and Knights Affair, and Kingston Town wins in a walk.
Daily Mirror racing editor, Tom Brazel.
The Rosehill Guineas was the day that I first thought to myself, well, this horse is a real champion. because Malcolm Johnson had to use him a lot early in the race, and he stopped and started on him. He got a position, and as soon as Malcolm wanted to ease, well, the horse eased. He dropped into whatever tempo Malcolm wanted to ride him.
Again he went to Sydney, and again he won the Rider. This time going 121.6.
Well, it's kicked up and went to the lead on Manicato, and the champion is Fair Dinkum bolting, approaching the 800. It's Manicato in front by 3/4 to Steel Blade, running third on the outside, Silver Wraith, and then Legends. Sportscast behind those, out a bit deep as Ambassadora, then Aegeus Nikolaos, followed by Gypsy Kingdom, and 2.5 last, Middleton Sam at the 600. Coming around the sweeping turn for home, and Manicato held well together, led nicely from Steel Blade. Silver Wraith, the NZ, are making a line of 3. Now 2 lengths away, Sportscast under heavy pressure, turning the corner, followed by Gypsy Kingdom and Ambassadora. In the straight, 300 out, and Manicato led. Willis hasn't gone for him yet. Now he gives him a dig, and Manicato effortlessly bounded away. Manicato 3 lengths in front of Silver Wraith, Ambassadora. Middleton Sam out wide, running on well, but it's all Manicato, and by golly, it's an easy $62,000 as this powerhouse sprinter bolted in. Manicato by 2.5 lengths. Gypsy Kingdom flew to get second.
Then disaster. In the Galaxy on March 22, the Grand Horse suffered a bleeding attack, a bad one. After the race, it was also discovered he'd suffered a heart attack. The pundits said this was the end. The saga was over.
I was approached in Sydney just after the event with an offer to sell him to American interests because of their relaxed laws on this sort of thing, the bleeding over there. And Bob and I spent a fair bit of time thinking about that. Obviously, we had to consider what it meant to Bob losing it, and me not being able to go and see him race. And in the end, we decided that for the benefit of the horse, regardless of whether he ever ran again or won again, that for his benefit, we'd keep him. And so I think we made the right decision.
I was discussing this with Mel Seckel, his owner, one night over a social occasion, and I said, oh, he'll never race again. He said, of course he will. So the argument continued. So we had a bet. I bet him $2 that Manicato wouldn't race again. Well, what was that? That was in the autumn. He was back winning William Reed's.
In the back straight, 1,300 metres out in the Tancred Stakes, and the leader's going beautifully, Double Century.
Then the Tancred Stakes, which, like the Cox Plate, is a good horse's race at a good horse's distance and at weight for age.
Fourth spot, followed closely by Desper on the outside of Justice Steel. Pagal striding around that pair, 3 deep. Another 2 to Sunstone, followed by Our Cavalier. Well back, Chivalry and Golden Black, and Salamander last, and about 10 or 12 lengths covers the field. Onto the top turn with 900 to go. Double Century, the leader. Bow back as second. Worry Symbol third on the outside of Kingston Town. 3 deep, Pagal around Desper and Justice Steel. Then Sunstone, they're starting to pack up. Golden Black further back in the field. Chivalry got cluttered up near the fence. He's in bother coming to the corner. Salamander's about to take off, and Our Cavalier went back to the tail with Chivalry. About to swing for home, 4:50 to go. And the leader, Double Century, is nicely clear as they turn, led by a length and a half to Kingston Town, who's poised to challenge now. They've quickly booted clear of Worry Symbol, followed by Justice Steel, Pagal and Salamander. But it's the famous Kingston Town acceleration as he went past Double Century in one stride. Kingston Town with an explosive turn of speed is race clear, and the Tancred Stakes is all over. Look at him go. He's a champion from head to toe. Kingston Town wins with his ears pricked by 4 lengths to Double Century, a neck away third.
Then the Roll has first 2.5 lengths clear at the 200. Double Century under the whip, struggling on in a line of about 6 behind them with Salamander on their outside. But Kingston Town is going to win in a walk. This is the best 3-year-old and the best player we've got in Australia at the moment.
Racing in the Derby. A pretty good start, too. One of the best out, Riverdor. Kingston Town jumped well, and going out quickly was Shogun, followed by Prince Ruling and Mr. Independent, then Farewell Chime, followed by Elderina. In the middle next is Big Print on the Fence, racing Red Kilt, and then comes Polo Player. Brindisi Sec taking off, and then a gap to Big Print, followed by Polo Player. Then comes Farewell Chime, Red Kilt, Brindisi second last, and High Mystery last. Little bit of sense coming into the race now speed-wise as they travel past the 1900 where Prince Ruling went to the lead. A length and a half on El Lorena, so Queensland first and second at the moment. 2 lengths third is Shogun. On the fence, Mr. Independent, but the speed is again starting to slow as they wheel into the back from Big Print around Kingston Town. Red Kilt taking off in a hurry, followed by Polo Player, Riverdor, High Mystery, Farewell Chime and Brindisi last. Well, in this farcically run derby at the 1400 metres, Red Kilt went to the lead. And as they run past the 13 now, another leader, Polo Players, come onto the scene. And now Kingston Town has gone to second. I wouldn't believe it if I wasn't here. And at the 1200, at the halfway mark, it's Polo Player a length on Kingston Town. Third, Red Kilt. Fourth, Mr. Independent. Riverdor's gone up wide out to fifth, followed by Prince Ruling. And then a gap, Farewell Chime, Shogun, followed by, at the head of the others, then Big Print making a little bit of ground with High Mystery. El Lorena led at one stage, is now second last. And Brindisi's last. In the derby, they pack up, coming past the 800, with the leader, Polo Player, a half length on Kingston Town, and 3 deep is Riverdor. A length and a half to Red Kilt and Mr. Independent. Big Print wider out from Farewell Chime, and then Prince Ruling. A gap then to Shogun, High Mystery, followed well back by El Lorena as they near the home corner, and Brindisi is last. On the bend in the 1980 derby, and Polo Player just leading Kingston Town. Riverdor 3 deep, and then comes behind those Red Kilt, Mr. Independent, Shogun. And as they run to the 300, Johnston says, "Come on, King. Let's go." And Kingston Town raced away. Past the 200, Kingston Town 3 in front of Polo Player, Mr. Independent, and then Shogun. But $136,000 staring connections at Kingston Town on the face. Kingston Town racing away from Mr. Independent. El Lorena flying along the rail. But Kingston Town wins the derby brilliantly from Mr. Independent, El Lorena. And then came Polo Player, Riverdor, Shogun, Brindisi, Big Print, Red Kilt, Farewell Chime, Prince Ruling, High Mystery, Absolute.
As they head for home, and then Prince Ruling turning into the straight, and Polo Player and Kingston Town, the joint leaders from Riverdor on the outside. About a length and a half further back, Shogun with Big Print pulled out wide to make a run. Kingston Town dashed clear over the rise, however. In second place is Shogun from Polo Player. Big Print can't go on, but Kingston Town has careered away now, and Kingston Town's got the derby won. Running into second place, Mr. Independent. Shogun battling it out with Riverdor for third, but Kingston Town breezes in by 3.5 lengths. Second is
Racing now, the Doncaster Handicap. Middleton, Sam, Brandy, Sipper and Agios Nicolaos slow to go. Steel Blade best to begin from Arbogast and Bembokayop. Then comes Marjolio Ledurgenet, followed by Ico, moving up with Silver Wraith, Low and Star, then Stage Hit, followed by Sportscast, and behind those horses next Golden Rhapsody, King's Ideal and Consenting. And then a gap to Red Coral, followed by Bit of a Sky. There is Steel Blade, a length Arbogast. Third is Bembokayop, and then Marjolio, Silver Wraith. A length of Minuetto, Golden Rhapsody, Ledurgenet, and behind those next is Low and Star, in company with Ico, and then comes Stage Hit, and wider out on the track next is Red Coral, followed by Consenting, King's Ideal, and a length of Sportscast, and then comes Bit of a Sky, Gypsy Kingdom, Big Bickies, Middleton, Sam, Brandy, Sipper, 2 lengths to Agios Nicolaos, and last of all is still Scomeld. Up to the bend in the Doncaster Handicap, and the leader is Steel Blade. He's a length and a half on Arbogast. Third, Bembokayop. On the rail is next Marjolio, followed by Silver Wraith, Minuetto, Golden Rhapsody, Low and Star Ico, and 2 lengths next, Sportscast from Gypsy Kingdom, and Scomeld back 5th last. Coming to the 300 metres now, Arbogast went to the lead from Bembokayop, Marjolio. Ico coming into it solidly, followed by Silver Wraith. Arbogast in front, grabbed by Ico, Gypsy Kingdom running on, but Ico's taken the lead. Ico is forging away, but Ico wins the Doncaster from Gypsy Kingdom, Arbogast and Silver Wraith from Consenting, and then came Middleton, Sam and Marjolio, Golden Rhapsody, Bit of a Sky, Minuetto, Stage Hit, Bembokayop, Scomeld, Low and Star, Red Coral, then Agios Nicolaos, Sportscast, Big Becky, Steel Blade, Ledurgenet, Brandy, Sipper, and Absolute King's Ideal. Official placings in the Doncaster Handicap of 1980. And the T.J. Smith representative, one of them, Ico, ridden by Mal Johnston, has been able to win, and as they went shortly past the post, up went Malcolm's Hand in a victory salute.
Better by at last is in front, and with 1,200 to go, had an advantage of a half.
And finally, that unforgettable Sydney Cup.
Well, and he's going to ride him over, apparently, to try to get him close to the fence. Kingston Town won the start clearly, and is coming across the front of the field, and he's going to be on the rails inside 100 metres. Double century.
Looking back, you could say the Sydney Cup was an enormous thrill because a number of people, including some very knowledgeable horse people, said that he couldn't possibly run 2 miles and he couldn't run the Sydney, he couldn't win the Sydney Cup.
Grey Affair with March the Glory third last, Play the Game last, and Fabuloso next to last. Better Buy at last is in front, and with 1200 to go had an advantage of a half length, but Kingston Town's gone up within 3/4 of a length of him shortly afterward. A length and a half to Double Century being perfectly ridden, and Worry Symbol on his outside. About a length to Washington drifting back into the field and being passed by Marlborough. Then Pagal at the head of the others out wide, Just Jealous, and a length to Misty Love. They were closely attended by Sharman making a run from Desperate Just to Steal. Then came Grey Affair, Golden Back still got only about 3 behind him. Master Glory dropped out last with Fabuloso and Play the Game. 800 to go, and the leader Better Buy by 3/4 of a length to Kingston Town. 3 parts of a length away, Worry Symbol, a half on the inside, then to Double Century. Marlborough's next on the outside, and then Sharman followed by Just Jealous, Pagal. Misty Love on the outside from Just to Steal. Golden Black making a bit of ground, and then Desperate Grey Affair. On the bend for home, and the leaders are Kingston Town, who's moved up and now joined and headed Better Buy. In third place, Worry Symbol, Double Century coming home well, and they were followed by Sharman at the head of the others. Then on the outside, Fabuloso. Kingston Town shot away with 250 to go. Double Century second from Marlborough, Fabuloso on the outside, and then March to Glory. But Kingston Town is going to win the Sydney Cup in a walk. He's 5 lengths in front coming to the line, and Double Century bolts in, scoring by 3.5 lengths. Kingston Town bolts in from Double Century.
Well, they come in the Sydney Cup, and the leader is Better Buy. Now Kingston Town, pop the question by Johnston, and around the bend they come. Kingston Town races to the lead from Better Buy. Marlborough followed by Double Century, Worry Symbol, Sharman and Fabuloso, but Kingston Town, 300 to go. He raced away. He's 2.5 Double Century. Then Marlborough, Pagal and Fabuloso, but Kingston Town, El Supremo. Kingston Town, 4-5 in front of Double Century. Then Marlborough and Pagal, but he is certainly king.
So he'd had, and there was a little bit of trouble around the back, and I remember I got shuffled back to about 7th or 8th, and I just kicked up, give him a kick in the belly, and went round 4 or 5 horses in a twinkling of an eye, just like that. I went round him and just parked outside the leader again. And when I said, "Woo, boy," he just come back underneath me. That's what sort of horse he was. You could start, stop 3 or 4 times in a race, and he was the easiest horse in the world to ride.
Kingston Town bolts in from Double Century.
Well, at that time of his career, he was the most outstanding racehorse I'd ever seen in my life. He was the most outstanding racehorse that I'll ever ride in my life. And he's a jockey's dream to have a great horse like him, just to ride. And at that stage, he was just he was an unbelievable horse.
The King went to Brisbane for the winter. He was feeling his racing, but took the Grand Prix and the Derby there.
And in a few bounds, up goes Kingston Town. Kingston Town races up, takes the lead from Red Kilter. Star Dynasty's well beaten. Now Kingston Town, Johnston is niggling him away, and away he goes, and it's all over. Kingston Town wins the Grand Prix Stakes, and there's still 50 metres to go. A very, very easy win. Kingston Town about 3 lengths to Red Kilt. And
he'd had a very hard campaign leading up to the Queensland Derby. And he went up to Queensland, and he just never had the spark that you've seen him here with when he won the Tancred and the Sydney Cup. He'd lost a little bit of that dash. He'd never lost any fight. He was certainly a fighter, but he just lost a little bit of dash because he'd had a hard campaign, and he was just at the end of his tether. He was looking forward to having a bit of a spell.
Prince Ruling going well in front, only a head in front of Kingston Town. He's striding well too. 2 lengths farther back, Golden in. Red Kilter's moved forward, and last of all, Star Dynasty approaching the home turn. Prince Ruling the leader, ahead in front of Kingston Town. Red Kilter's moved into 3rd place. Behind him, Star Dynasty into the straight, 400 metres to go. Kingston Town has now gone to the lead. Red Kilt battling on fairly well. Kingston Town is having a bit of a race. Johnson has drawn the whip to flick at him. Kingston Town in front of Red Kilt, followed by Star Dynasty. Kingston Town the leader. He's having a bit of a hard run. Johnson looked round on the right side, flicked him with a whip, and he's still holding his ground in front of Kingston Town. Drew away now. Kingston Town drew away and won by about 3 lengths to Red Kilter. Third is close between Golden and Prince. Kingston Town is having a bit of a racer. Johnson has drawn the whip to flick at him. Kingston Town in front of Red Kilt, followed by Star Dynasty. Kingston Town the leader. He's having a bit of a hard run. Johnson looked round on the right side, flicked him with a whip, and he's still holding his ground in front of Kingston Town. Drew away now. Kingston Town drew away and won by about 3 lengths to Red Kilter. Third is close between Golden and Prince.
The King went for a short spell. Third preparation, he'd won 8 straight. He'd now won a dozen straight in Sydney. No one was arguing. He was the champion of Australia.
In the stalls,